just truly a delight.
One of the things we're going to be working with is also spiritual communication. You're going to hear a lot about the new part of the world we're living in. Not only the fifth dimension, but the field of triality that we're starting to move into. I'll explain that more as we get there. But one of the things that happens in a field of triality is we all start to have more spiritual connection. It's real simple. We have more connection with our own higher self. And because of that connection, you're going to find that channeling is going to be a lot more commonplace. And that more people are going to really understand it, and more of you are going to be channeling all the time. In fact, a lot of you have started channeling even in the last 4 to 5 years. All right, let's find out. How many of you feel that you've started getting information or channeling in some form over the last 5 years?
Ah, wonderful.
You probably got about 70% of you here in there that just raised your hand.
Good for you.
That will be a very commonplace thing. The group says there's 2 reasons we don't channel. Number 1, we don't trust it. Our higher self is directly connected to our imagination center of our brain. So when that information comes in, it feels like we're making it up. That's what it feels like. And that's just the way it is. So we don't trust it. We have a tendency to say, oh, that's not right, or that's it, so we don't do that. The other part is we don't practice it. But later today or tomorrow, we're going to have a chance to trust it and to learn how to practice it, even here in the room with you. So we're going to do a couple of channeling exercises to kind of show you how that works.
I'm really pleased to see so many people admit that they channel, because a lot of us think, oh, maybe I do, but I'm not going to admit it. And that used to be me too, because people used to say, well, you're always next to Steve in the group. Is it rubbing off? Are you getting any of it? Yeah, thank you. And I used to say, oh, no, I don't channel. He's got the gift, not me. And then I thought, oh, wait a minute. I think I always called it women's intuition. Yeah. Well, I think that's the same as channeling. And yes, of course I channel, but it's different than him.
And hers will come through it different than mine. Yeah. She's a different person, different experiences, different personality. So her channel will be a little bit different than mine, and that's perfect. So we have different flavors of the same truth.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to try and show you as well. So that's one of the things we're going to be working with. We're also going to be working with... we're not going to be able to do this. I've got so much stuff that I tried to put in this seminar. I finally realized that we're going to have to call this fifth dimensional living 1.
Yes.
Because I'm probably going to have to come back and cover in another seminar. We're going to have to cover the rest of these. We're actually only going to work with 5 tools, but they're very powerful tools. There's a lot more that is fifth dimensional attributes that we will work with. So we may actually come back with a part 2 to this seminar, or a part 3. I don't really know yet. But there's a lot there that we have to cover that is not even in this seminar.
I know
some of them are here.
When he was working on the PowerPoint last night, he was going, I want to include this and this, but it would be like a 5-day seminar, so we really had to cut some things out.
But one of them is the difference of the experience of love. We go from relationships. We've had relationships for a very long time. We are going to relationships with an F. And the reason we are going to relationships is because these are relationships that can grow, that can move from one level to the next as we humans move from one level to the next. And they're built a little bit differently. The communication is a little bit different. And we'll be able to talk a little bit about that as well. And here, it's not one of the parts that we're going to cover in detail, but we did do the first relationship seminar in Hawaii just a couple months ago. Some of you here were there. So we had the first sacred relationship seminar. It was kind of interesting because we did it here.
That's
we actually
right.
did. You're right. We did the first one here, and the second one was in Hawaii. Then
You're right.
We did the first one in Elspeth. You're correct. It was really interesting. The first time I sent out the advertisement I sent it out to all 60,000 people on our list, and I said, "Sacred relationships. Are you ready to shift in your relationship?" And on the word shift, I left out the F. I got a lot of email.
S-H-I-T.
I got a lot of email on that one.
People are intrigued by it. They says, well, we have to find out what this is about.
I don't know if people stayed away or if they came more because of it. It was interesting.
Yeah, well, it's not just about your one-on-one love relationships. It's relationships with your family, your children, the people you work with. I love this seminar.
So the idea is to start seeing things from a fifth dimensional perspective. You're going to see a lot of things over the next couple days that are going to stretch your imagination, hopefully. They're going to make you think. They're going to make you wonder a little bit. Because that's really what we're here to do. We're not here to give you all the answers. This is not follow the leader anymore. It's follow yourself. We've moved from the first wave of empowerment of follow the leader into the second wave of empowerment to follow yourself. So we're going to hopefully give you more questions than we give you answers. Because that way you can come to your own decisions, you can choose your own, and some of you are going, I don't know about that. But the idea is that we'll be able to give you multiple views of life and different ideas and different perceptions.
Humans are now creating miracles on a daily basis. The veil is thinning as humanity evolves, and now everything has been pulled forward in the timeline to accommodate the awakening of humanity. I like that picture. He looks so happy.
A lot of light.
He looks passionate. This is from the group. You have just crossed over into a new reality. Welcome to the fifth dimension.
And they've talked a lot about the fifth dimension and what it looks like and where it is and what the attributes are. Because of the fact that we like to know everything. We want to know every little detail about everything. And it makes it very difficult for us sometimes.
Learning to use the attributes of the fifth dimension will awaken the sleeping master within each of you. Your reality will begin to change as you master the art of perception. I know, these pictures are beautiful, aren't they?
The art of perception. Your perception will change as you step into the fifth dimension. And these are just some interesting little ideas to stretch your imagination. You'll see quite a few of them here.
The largest attribute of the fifth dimension is that you now live in a state of enhanced creation. Because you are so accustomed to your life the way it is, you end up recreating a third dimensional reality inside the fifth dimension.
There's the problem, right there. We are so accustomed to getting up in the morning, combing our hair, brushing our teeth, going to work in the car, driving to work in the car, and living in a third dimensional reality. Even though we've stepped into a state of enhanced creation, we still create the third dimensional reality inside the fifth dimension. So, what does that mean? Number one, it is not wrong to do that. Please understand. In the fifth dimension, we're going to start losing the concepts of right and wrong. And I'll show you that as we get a little closer. But the other part about it is, if you'd really like to experience more of the fifth dimension, how do we do that? We do that by learning tools that use the attributes of the fifth dimension that did not work in the third dimension. So we start stretching our belief systems. We start stretching our boundaries. We start doing things differently than we've ever done them before, and we find out what works in the fifth dimension. And that's what this seminar is for. We're going to show you 5 particular tools that will work in the fifth dimension that will help you to start using some of the fifth dimensional attributes in changing your life to include more fifth dimensional attributes. These are the 5 things that we're going to work with. We're going to work with the E factor, living with empowerment. The group has talked about the E factor for several years. Some of you may think that this is a repeat, but we'll tell you the E factor